Thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to the instructions for your Toddler Tantrum Emergency Kit. Okay, I'll admit that I have never been a parent myself, but I can read. After spending several days reading multiple reputable sources for dealing with toddler issues, especially for the terrible twos, I was struck by the realization that they have issues with the same things as the special needs kids that I have worked with for over 40 years. First, they are just learning that they are their own entity, separate from the mommy person. However, they still have not grasped that this means they have separate thoughts from the mommy person, called theory of mind. This explains why they have the meltdown for supposedly unknown reasons. They assume you know what they want and why they are upset, because they think everyone has the same thoughts as they do. Second, learning they are their own person means learning how much control they have over their environment. They initially start out thinking they are in control of everything, and are shocked, surprised, and horrified to learn this is not true. They will test each situation in order to determine how much dominance they can exert. This is a normal part of developing a sense of self. Get used to it. This stage actually lasts until your child is a parent himself. Thirdly, toddlers do not deal with transitions well. No matter what you want them to do, they do not want to do it, because it means they must stop doing what they are doing at this moment. There is safety and comfort in continuing to do the same thing. Also, they have not learned the concept of routines yet, so they do not understand that many things happen over and over again on a regular basis that is fairly predictable. The fact that they don't know why you want them to do something they already did is terrifying to them. And fourthly, toddlers have not yet learned that they have the power to soothe themselves when they are upset. Indeed, many adults have not learned this yet. This is a skill that takes years to master, and we often need a little help finding those things that work for us, especially as toddlers. Have you noticed all the self-help books and groups out there? So these, in my opinion, are the main causes for toddler meltdowns and tantrums. The only strategies they have to deal with these frightening issues is to scream or cry. Then, of course, they learn the power of no. Not totally unexpected, considering how many times they hear it in the course of the day from others. However, also not always effective. So let's approach your toddler dilemma from the standpoint of the educational research of what works with the special needs population who deal with these same issues. A good strategy to try is giving choices. Since your toddler will be bent on domination in all settings, you can give him the illusion of control by giving him choices in the more mundane activities of the day. He might not have a choice of what you make him for dinner, but you could offer a choice of drinks. While you still need to cut his food, you could give him a choice of one piece at a time on his plate or more. So find little ways in every activity to give him some kind of choice. Red shirt or blue shirt when dressing? Rubber ducky or Elmo in the bath? Keep the choices simple. 2 would be best, no more than 3. By the way, this is also an awesome time to get in some language development and build decision-making skills. Don't just let him point to his choice. Set the expectation that he will at least try to verbalize his choice. And sorry, pointing and saying that as an answer is not acceptable. Model the actual words for him, and if he at least attempts to say it, even if the pronunciation is not quite accurate yet, then he gets it. It's not being mean. It's teaching natural consequences, increasing his vocabulary, giving him the practice he needs to develop correct pronunciation, and teaching him there is power in using words. He'll thank me later when he uses his words to tell another kid to go away instead of giving him a black eye. To have smoother transitions, the key is advanced preparation. Remember how it felt in school when the teacher threw a pop quiz at you? That is the toddler's entire day, every day. You can help ease their anxiety by preparing them for what's coming. When they go to bed at night, talk about what's going to happen in the morning. When they get up in the morning, talk about what else will happen throughout their day. And use lots of pictures. If you're going to visit Grandma, show your munchkin a picture of Grandma and him having fun together. If you're trying to get him to go to daycare, show him a picture of him playing with the kids and having fun, or a picture of a daycare worker he really likes. Always show a picture of something he associates with pleasure if possible. You can also help your toddler understand routines by using visuals. There is a ton of research showing the effectiveness of visual schedules. I have prepared one here that you can try. Feel free to customize it as needed. The train is to get the idea across to the child that routines are cycles, just like a train that goes around and around. The daily events happen over and over again every day for the most part. The activity pictures with the train are the things that most toddlers fuss about, so they know that they are coming up ahead of time. Again, change it to meet your own needs. The yellow sun and blue moon sides are for him to start to learn that our daily activities are usually tied into the time of day, like things we do during the day when it's light out and things we do at night when it's dark. That will help them understand what you mean when you say, "Tomorrow morning we will go to Grandma's house." Toddlers do not have any concept of time yet, so you need to make it as concrete as possible by showing him on the visual schedule that it means after he wakes up when the sun is up. As you start one activity, prepare them for the transition to the next. For example, when you're all done eating, it will be time to take a bath, and show the visual schedule. Then when it's time to transition, say, "Okay, eating's all done, it's time for a bath," and show the schedule again. The key to making this effective is to use your visual schedule and preparation strategies consistently for at least 3 weeks. Be warned, it is a change, and we know how toddlers like change. You can expect a week or two of resistance and general disdain for the whole visual schedule concept. But if you stick with it, you will see your toddler actually begin to look for the schedule frequently. This is great progress, as he has just learned one of his own self-soothing strategies. Speaking of self-soothing strategies, the following ideas again come from research about what works with the special needs population to de-escalate a meltdown. Special ed classrooms often have a quiet corner or sensory corner where there are many sensory objects for the students to interact with in order to get it under control. The problem here is the fact that you can't take your quiet corner with you when you're out in public. With that in mind, I have tried to include some audio-video items here that you can try. Something with smooth, slow, repetitive motion will begin to draw your child's attention away from what has him so upset. Research and relaxation techniques have found certain audio frequencies have the same kind of calming impact, so there are videos included from YouTube that combine the visual images with music using those specific frequencies. If you try this with your toddler, refrain from frantically waving your tablet in front of his face and telling him to look at this. Remember, toddlers always do the opposite of what you want, so this will only escalate his tantrum. Just turn it on, set it down somewhere within his field of vision, preferably where he can't grab it and throw it at you because he will, and just walk away. Don't even say anything about it. Give him a few minutes. He will eventually look at it on his own and find it pleases him. Soon there will only be a few whimpers coming from him instead of ear-piercing screams. At this point, you can begin to deal with him again, and initially just start talking about the video, how pretty it is, how nice the music is, maybe hum with it. Take the focus of your conversation off his behavior and on something more positive. Your child will eventually learn that when he is upset or anxious, he can use the videos to calm himself. And bonus, using these auditory visual soothers is also often an effective strategy for getting your toddler back to sleep when he wakes up in the middle of the night. The same might be true of feeling textures like a soft toy. Experiment and see what works for your child. Hint, what works for you? What makes your mind say, "Ah," when things get crazy in your world? Try the same things with your child. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That is, of course, unless you have developed the habit of soothing yourself with copious amounts of alcohol. Definitely not recommending that. Interestingly, a recent psychological study showed that many people have difficulty falling asleep if they participate in any kind of activity with words. Whether it is listening to someone talk, like watching TV, or listening to someone read you a story, or reading itself. The fact that your brain is processing words actually has a stimulating effect that tends to keep you awake. Now, I am not saying don't read to your kids, but you just might want to do it earlier in the evening than trying to read them to sleep. Maybe read to them while they eat dinner or play in the tub. For this reason, the lullabies included in this kit are instrumental only. The last strategy is to armor yourself with humor. This is the last feature of my app, and it's more for your benefit, but it might also help diffuse a tantrum. In the midst of a meltdown, play the video of contagious laughter. Just stand back from your tantruming child and turn it on for yourself. I seriously doubt you'll be able to listen to it without starting to laugh yourself. This accomplishes several things. Firstly, it helps to de-stress you. Our children feel and react to our feelings. If we are exuding stress, it amplifies their anxieties. By lessening your own stress, you will lessen theirs. Also, your laughter might serve as a distractor, as it takes your child's mind off of what was bothering him, trying to figure out what you are laughing at. No research on whether this is an effective treatment for toddlers, but I know from 40 years of teaching that humor can quickly diffuse a volatile situation with students. Personal secret, I've been known to use a laugh track like this one to de-stress before a stressful meeting. Laughing releases endorphins into your system, which is a feel-good chemical. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for your toddler, it might be helpful to you personally. Better yet, try it on your spouse when they've had that day from HE double hockey sticks.